Today, we're diving into Sindh, a land of absolutely stunning natural contrasts. We're talking everything from vast deserts to lush mangroves. It's a region defined by these incredibly rich, but also very fragile ecosystems. So we're going to explore what makes them so vital, the huge dangers they're facing, and the incredible fight to secure their future.
All right, so let's kick things off with a little riddle. What on earth could a huge, sweeping desert possibly have in common with a wet, tangled river delta? I mean, they seem like they're from different planets, right?
Well, the answer is they share a home. Both of these extreme environments, plus a whole lot more, are all found side by side in the remarkable province of Sindh. It creates this amazing mosaic of life that's just as resilient as it is diverse.
So, let's take a quick tour of these natural treasures. This is where you really get a feel for the sheer variety we're dealing with.
First up, the Indus Delta mangroves. Now, these are so much more than just trees. You gotta think of them as a living, breathing shield for the coastline, literally protecting it from storms and erosion. And what's happening underwater is just as important. Those tangled roots are a crucial nursery for countless fish and other marine life, supporting the entire food web.
Now, if we move inland, we find the riverine forests. Just picture these vibrant green corridors that trace the path of the mighty Indus River. They create their own unique microclimate, a special habitat that is completely dependent on the seasonal ebb and flow of the river itself.
Okay, get ready for a complete change of scenery, the Thar Desert. Now, it might look pretty barren at first glance, but don't let that fool you. This ecosystem is absolutely teeming with life that is adapted in the most incredible ways to survive in one of the driest regions on the planet.
And we absolutely cannot forget the wetlands. Places like Manchar Lake are a huge deal on an international scale. Think of them like vital service stations on an avian superhighway, providing a place to rest and refuel for millions of migratory birds on their epic yearly journeys.
And finally, we head to the rugged Kurthar Mountains. This dramatic landscape is a sanctuary, a safe haven for rare and endangered wildlife that finds shelter in its remote valleys and peaks. So from the coast, to the desert, to the mountains, the range is just astonishing.
Okay, so we've seen what's there. But here's the big question. Why should we care? This goes so much deeper than just some pretty scenery. These ecosystems are fundamentally important for people and for the planet.
This really gets to the heart of why it all matters, and it basically comes down to four main pillars. It's not just about nature, it's about people. This biodiversity is the bedrock of local economies, supporting thousands of families. We're talking fisheries, farming, all of it. These ecosystems are also a natural defense force, building resilience against climate change. And of course, they maintain that delicate natural balance and protect endangered species. The main takeaway here is that human well-being in Sindh isn't separate from nature. It's completely woven into it.
But this natural paradise is facing a perfect storm of immense pressures. That delicate balance we were just talking about, well, it's now dangerously close to tipping over.
And this just lays out the scale of the challenge. It isn't just one thing, it's a battle on multiple fronts. You've got water scarcity that's starving the delta, widespread pollution from industries and cities, the huge threat of climate change, unchecked urban sprawl eating up habitats, and just a constant overuse of natural resources. Any one of these is a major problem. All of them together, it's a massive threat.
Now, I know that sounds pretty grim, but this is where the story takes a hopeful turn. Because amidst all these challenges, there's a real, dedicated fight for survival going on, and conservation efforts are working hard to turn the tide. This shows the strategy in action. For every threat, there's a targeted response. You've got these huge mangrove planting projects to protect the coast. You have protected areas like Kurthar National Park and anti-poaching patrols to safeguard wildlife. And for the wetlands, it's all about pollution control and restoring natural water flows. But maybe the most important piece of the puzzle is community involvement, giving local people a real economic stake in conservation through new programs and ecotourism.
So with all these efforts underway, what's the long-term game plan? Where do we go from here to make sure these fixes aren't just temporary band-aids?
This slide lays out a really clear four-step roadmap. First, environmental policies need to be stronger, but more importantly, they actually have to be enforced. Second, you have to expand the network of protected areas. Third, there needs to be a big shift toward climate-smart practices in both farming and industry to cut down on pollution and water use. And finally, you have to keep investing in research and monitoring because you can't protect what you don't understand.
And this brings us right to the core takeaway. Protecting biodiversity in Sindh isn't just an environmental issue, it's an economic one. It is absolutely essential for sustainable development. The health of the economy and the health of the environment are totally intertwined. You can't have one without the other.
Which leaves us with a final and pretty critical question to think about. This challenge isn't about making a choice between development and conservation. The real question is, how do we innovate and plan in a way that lets both economic growth and nature thrive, side by side? Finding that balance, well, that's the ultimate key to Sindh's future.